Do you know that only 20% of you who are listening to me right now will actually watch this video till the end? I mean, can you even think about it? 8 out of 10 people who are currently listening to this will get bored in a couple of minutes and they'll look out for some other source of dopamine to hit them like a crocodile. Sounds funny, right? But being able to focus is a skill which is going to disappear in a couple of years. And this is scarier than what you think it is. I mean, in 1980s, the average attention span of human beings was around 20 minutes. And then in 1998, it came down to 12.5 minutes. And guess what? In 2024, this came down to 8.25 seconds. And that's just insane. The future will not belong to the smartest people. It will belong to the ones who can focus on what matters the most. And in this video, we'll be talking about everything that you need to know to get back your focus to the top and make sure that you don't get distracted by every small piece of information which is hitting your phone. Let's start. Basically, there are two things which are affecting your brain on a daily basis. And if you don't change them, you'll get to a stage where you won't be able to focus on anything else in your life. And the worst part, you'll start feeling more and more difficult to even remember small pieces of information. Sounds scary, but this is not so far away from the reality. And the first reason is the digital attention economy. Every day we are constantly hit with notifications, social media feeds, video recommendations, and instant dopamine hits. And these devices are designed to steal our attention. And this leads to fragmented thinking. I mean, when was the last time when you could actually read a book without actually feeling the urge to check your phone? In my case, never. And the second reason is a slow, constant rewiring of our brain. Thousands of years back, humans lived as hunter-gatherers, and they were focused on very slow process like finding food or finding a good place to rest. But now, the same brain is being dropped in a world where everything feels important, everything feels urgent, but most of it is completely useless. And this creates this huge cognitive mismatch. I mean, look at yourself now. Every time you scroll, like, or a notification pops up, it is making you think that it is important. And instead of deep focus, our brain slowly started craving for more and more dopamine hits. And the harsh truth is you're not just distracted. You're slowly trained to stay distracted. Do you understand? Someone is controlling the way that you think, the way that you act, and the things that you can do and you can't do. And if you don't fix this, it will only keep getting worse. Because first, distractions will break your focus. And then slowly your brain will start adapting to that quick dopamine hits, making it even more difficult for you to actually focus. But a good part, this can be controlled and you can be trained. And in the next 3 to 4 minutes, I'll be talking about 5 things that you can do to actually start training your brain to focus for extended periods of time. Let's start. The first method is to progressively overload your attention, which means just like your muscles, your brain needs training. I mean, you can't go from watching 15-second reels to directly reading a 200-page book for 5 to 6 hours, right? So instead what you do is to measure how long are you able to sit and work without getting distracted right now. For example, right now I can sit and work for 90 minutes straight. But when I first started, I was barely able to sit for 15 to 20 minutes without getting distracted. So you can just start with 15 minutes and slowly increase it to 20, 25, 30 and finally to 90 minutes straight. This will take you a couple of weeks or a couple of months based upon how serious you are. Now the second method is called smart dopamine loading, and this is actually a game changer. So the logic here is how much ever you try, after a couple of weeks, you won't be able to kill the urge to check your phone again and again. I mean, even right now, some of you already started getting bored of this video and started reading through the comments. I mean, what can I say? There are thousands and thousands of people who have like PhDs in human psychology who are working days and nights to keep you hooked to your phone. They don't need you to finish watching this video. They just want you to be on their app. So what if you accept your fate and be like, okay, I'll check my phone, I'll keep watching videos, I'll scroll through Instagram, but only in the night after I finish all the work that I have. The reason that this works is because early in the morning you have like a fresh mind. And if you start feeding your brain with more and more dopamine in the morning itself, you'll find it more and more difficult to actually come back and study or come back and work. So instead, have like a slow start. Finish all the work that you have and then start feeding your brain with more and more dopamine hits that the world wants. This method works like wonders. I've been trying this for like last 3 to 4 months and I've never been more productive than right now. Now the third method is to use tech to help you fight distractions. For example, if you're on your phone, you can start using the apps like Forest, which will basically try to block all the other apps while you're working. But if you're on your Mac or probably an iPhone, at that point of time, you can start using the apps like Session, which will help you focus on the tasks that you have. Or if you're like me, you can also start using the Odoo project management app while you're working on the task which is important to you. For example, this year I wanted to explore more AI tools so that I can be more productive at my work and also make better videos for you. So what I did was I created a new project called as Explore AI Tools in my dashboard. Now, whenever I'm roaming around, if I find an interesting AI tool which is worth exploring, I'll add that to my list of things to explore. And the best part, I can also add the exact time of when I should be doing it. For example, in this case, it is 4 p.m. on 16th Feb, which is a Sunday evening. Now, once I finish reviewing an AI tool, if I like it, I'll move it to my amazing tools list. But if I don't like it, I've also created a not for me section over here where I'll dump all these things. And I can also add descriptions, tags, log notes if I have to remember something about it. Now in this way, I'll have like a perfect clarity of everything I've already tried, plus a big list of AI tools which I should be trying. I mean, Odoo is actually built to run big startups and companies, but it can also be used in a lot of other ways. I'll leave a link in the description, and yeah, don't worry, the first app is completely free for a lifetime. But the bigger idea here is to use tech or apps which will block all the distractions for you so that you can focus on the task which is most important for you. Let me know what are your favorite apps in the comments, and yeah, I'll just definitely check it out. The fourth method is to start doing the boring and difficult things every day. I spoke about this in the recent video about time management, so just watch it again. There's something called as anterior mid-cingulate cortex in our brain, which is more like a mental muscle for hard tasks. And every time you push yourself to do something difficult, it grows stronger, making the future challenges more and more easier to do. So the key for your growth here is to keep adding more and more difficult tasks throughout the day, one after one. For example, week 1, start with something small. Go out for a run every single day. Week 2, add something else. Start working for 1 hour straight right after you wake up. And then week 3, add one more difficult task in your day. Now week after week, you're training yourself to do more and more difficult tasks. And after a couple of months, you'll get so good at this that every single difficult task that you have seems like a cakewalk for you. So the next time when you feel like not studying, that is exactly the time when you have to force yourself to study. Just try this for a week and you'll already start seeing big difference in your day-to-day life. Now in addition to this, start embracing the boring things in your life. Start going for like a 15-minute walk without actually taking your phone, or start reading a book for 15 minutes every single day, because these things will help you get down the dopamine levels to normal. It's all the game of dopamine, if you're able to understand. Now the fifth one in the list, you see, finding the purpose of why you're doing what you're doing. If you can figure this one out, you don't need someone to tell you when to study or how long should you study. You'll naturally feel like studying more and more. I use a physical notebook like this to write down the things which are important for me, the work that I have to do, and the way that I'm feeling on a daily basis. I spend 10 to 15 minutes every night before I go to sleep to reflect on the day, and that gives me a lot of clarity. And if you're someone like me who needs like a lot of internal push to get things done, then maintaining a book like this will help you a lot in your life. Because imagine you just woke up in the morning and you're not feeling like doing anything. So what would you do? You'll obviously take your phone and start scrolling. But reflecting on your days and planning your days in advance removes a lot of mental load in the morning so that you can actually sit and focus on the things that matter to you the most. And yeah, it's as simple as that. Having something to do which feels meaningful for you is the key. Because some of you are like 15 years old, 16, 17, 18, 20, 22, 23, 24. This is the age when we have to dream because we have all the time in the world to actually chase those dreams. So dream big because you can do it. And meanwhile, I'll keep trying my best to help you as much as possible because I know I'm not the greatest, but my desire to make a change and help people is much greater than the so-called greatest. And if you're watching till here, congratulations because your focus levels are much better than the others. And also just to know, coming down, since how long have you been actually watching me on YouTube? One day I want to be one of the biggest content creators of the country and I'll never forget the support that you guys have been showing till now. Thank you so much, means a lot, and make sure that you follow everything that we discussed in this video. I'll see you again, bye-bye.